Hi everyone, welcome back. So today I actually have something fun. So I sat down with my friend LaDay, who also has a channel here on YouTube, and we were just talking about Flylady, our journeys, and some tips we have. So this is one half the conversation. And if you want to catch the other half, it'll be on LaDay's channel, and I will have a link to that video down in the description. So let's get right to it. So, LaDay, why don't you tell them a little bit about your channel?
So hi, my name is LaDay, and I have a channel called Love Always LaDay, where currently I'm just documenting a little bit about my Flylady journey, and I really like to promote this whole idea. If you guys are aware of Flylady, progress, not perfection, and I just try to be an example of that to just encourage moms to do their bag cleaning and to have grace for themselves and just to do what you can do. And as far as everything else, you can just only do what you can do. And so that's a message that I really try to promote on my channel. I have like clean with me style videos. I do a lot of motivation videos and stuff like that. Currently, I upload once a week, and sometimes I have bonus videos if I'm able to do that. And I feel like I should just throw this out there. I am a stay-at-home mom. I have 4 kids, and I also work part-time. So my life is like really crazy and busy right now.
Well, LaDay, how did you actually get introduced to Fly Ladies? How did you really get started?
Sure. So I learned about Flylady from watching other mommies on YouTube. Like when I had my 2 oldest boys, I just found myself feeling like overwhelmed with housework and stuff all the time. So I just went online to see like what other moms were doing and how they were managing it. And I just kept hearing this Flylady thing over and over again. And so, it took me a long time to even like Google it to see what it was, because I just saw all these people with like beautiful homes, and I felt like their routines, like they had these long lists, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not disciplined enough to do that. So I just assumed that it couldn't work for me, and it was for like people who were like, you know, like prim and proper, who knew what they were doing, and I just didn't do it for a long time. And about 6 months ago, I had to travel. So here I am, like with twin baby girls, 4 kids all together, and I'm barely holding it together, like in my home life. And then you add like a trip on top of that, and I felt like I was having like an emotional breakdown. I was just so overwhelmed, and I was just kind of like desperate for something to just make my life better. And that same day, I saw another YouTube video talking about Fly Lady again, and so this time something in my gut, it was just like, you know what, like stop assuming that this program doesn't work for you and just go and hear what the lady has to say. She said like 3 things. I think I watched like the first minute of her video. She said, "What can you do for 2 minutes?" I was like, girl, I can work for 2 minutes and do what you can. And like she just said like all these things that made so much sense to me. So I got the book, I shined my sink, and it's just been a whole new game ever since.
It's life changing. Is now here's the question everyone wants to know. What are you drinking?
Girl, this is just some Lipton's tea.
Sugar-free sweet tea. We
And
got the tea, don't we?
oh, you just gonna leave me? Okay, there we go. Okay, so I have a question for you. Why
Okay.
do you choose to like share your journey on YouTube?
Well, honestly, it does keep me accountable. But my funny answer, which is actually my truthful answer, it shows my husband what I did all day.
Yes. Okay,
Because
girl,
yeah,
because
because I'm no longer working, which I'm excited about. So then, I even took like my day in pictures, and it started out in a onesie, and then I mean, it was hilarious because I was gonna make it into a whole meme, but I make him watch my video when he
mm-hmm,
doesn't think that I did anything.
mm-hmm,
Watch me in the bathtub, hand scrubbing the bathtub.
mm-hmm.
So, but no, I mean, it does help motivate me because I know if anyone else out there is watching, then I know I have to do it for them.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what about you?
So I just wanted to say something about
Okay.
like showing your husband that you're doing something. Sometimes I feel like it could just be in my mind, but with people, come home and the house is like clean and shiny,
Mhm.
it can just look like, oh, you had like a pleasant day today. Like, oh, you
Right.
must have. I'm like, no, I worked hard, okay, for this house to look like this. I need you to see what I did. So, but
Yeah,
but
I
the
made the bed. I found the little throw pillows that I put on the bed. And I'm like, come on, I want you to see this. And he's like, what? I said, you need to come see. He's like, I'll see it when I get changed. No, you need to see it now.
reason now, yes, I do that to my husband too.
So does he
Do
watch your videos?
occasionally, yeah. He actually my husband is very supportive of my YouTube channel. Like, have you ever had the experience where like your husband comes home and something's different like every day? He's like, where do I live now?
Yeah. Well, let me see. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And one day he came home, he's like,
Uh,
oh, yeah,
oh,
that was the
something's
kitchen.
changed.
That
Something's
was
new.
the kitchen counters.
Yeah. I feel like I get that. Well, not so much now, but when I first started, like my husband would be like, "Oh, that's nice. Okay. Oh, wow,
Mhm.
that's different."
Yeah, I think I like this Flylady Journey.
Yeah.
And that's where I actually got some of the Flylady stuff is when I did it before, it was my birthday present. He got me a few different things and he got me a signed little note that said, Happy birthday, love, Flylady. I cried tears,
Oh.
like purple tears. It happened. Oh yes. Oh yes. So that's the only reason why I have all that stuff.
Oh, that's so cute, and that's very thoughtful. Wait, just a follow-up question on that.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like you walk into your own house and you be like, "Wait a minute, where do I like? Is this my house? Like, this where I live now?"
The
Because
kitchen.
yeah, the kitchen.
Yeah, well, because I mean, I made some, it doesn't look like it, but just moving some of the appliances or just taking away the appliances and putting them somewhere else, I have counters that I didn't know I had. Okay, funny story. So I did what was it? I did the cabinets. I did something and I did it on camera. And so my husband, he watched the video and he said, oh my goodness, I didn't even know that cabinet opened.
Oh.
I'm like, how? It's a cabinet. How would you know that it doesn't? I mean, it's up here. Obviously it opens, but now there's drawers that he doesn't even know that opens, but I'm not gonna tell him that either. So that's where all my snacks are going.
Yeah, secret snacks, girl. Yes.
Yeah. What about you? Have you
For
had
me,
that moment?
oh yes, all the time. Well, not so much now. I think I'm starting to get used to it, but I
Mhm.
felt like that in my bedroom. I'm like, oh, okay.
Mhm.
When I clean my countertops in my bathroom, like I
Yeah.
felt so like. Am I in a hotel? Like now, I
Right.
think my house is actually getting too bare. Like for a long time, I didn't want to buy like decorations and stuff because I felt like it just added to the clutter.
So
And I'm
cluttered.
like, I'm not trying to add mess, but now like since I like try to like do my morning routine and evening
Mhm.
routine and keep everything away, like now I'm like my house is kind of looking like an institution. Like I'm gonna need
Yeah.
to put a little decoration up. Like
And I'm feeling that too. And what's funny is I had said to my daughter, I'm like, I'm watching all these YouTubers and they're all decorating their house and maybe I should do it too. And she's like, Mom, I've always wanted you to do that. So yeah, just like you, I mean, because I am in that rental, it's really hard for me to go put stuff on the walls and things like that. But I want to be able to go and decorate for the seasons and the holidays. So I say we do that together. We'll
let's
figure
go
it
for
out. We
it.
do that together.
Okay, this is like a random follow-up question about your children. Like, how do you feel like your journey on Fly Lady has like affected your family, your
Hmm.
children? Do you have how many children do you have? One?
Well, see, that's a funny story. I have four. Two are my
Oh,
fault. Two are not my fault. Yeah. I have like this whole thing that I used to tell people. And so it's a whole story for a whole nother time. But yes, four kids. My eldest is, I think he's 24, 25. He
mm.
has a baby. And
Oh,
then I have my youngest is 14.
oh, wow. Okay, that's a nice little range there.
It really is, and it's been rough. But that's why I'm not really like the other mom channels out there because my kids are older, but unfortunately, I'm dealing with teenage daughters.
Okay.
Yes. So I don't have the nipping at my heels thing that a lot of other moms do, but I have some of the same problems you're going to run into.
Mm-hmm.
Oh goodness, don't let them get into social media. Just
Oh, okay.
whatever you do, it'll happen. It'll happen. TikTok is a thing. Oh yes. All right, so how has it, I think your question was, how has it affected my
Like, have
family?
you noticed like any changes or differences like in your children or in your family and their relationship with like cleaning and routines and stuff like that, or just in general, just anything different that you've noticed?
I have. So that we have a lunch pad. It's part of the Flylady system where you basically put your bag or your purse there. And what's funny is as soon as I instituted the launch pad, which they already kind of knew what it was before, but my daughter was really young. So when I told her what it was, every day she's putting her backpack there. My husband's putting his stuff there. But what's even
Ah.
funnier is my daughter had a friend over. And when she put her backpack there, they put their backpack there.
Mm-hmm.
And really, not a lot of stuff is going in my sink for the most part because you're putting it in the dishwasher. I'm like, who are you people? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Ooh.
Yeah. So for me, I feel like I've noticed a difference, like with my family too. I feel like my kids, they get really excited when they come home and they see that something's like new. They're like, whoa, it's like we're
Okay.
going to Disney World. Look at the pantry.
Yeah.
They get so excited. And then, like, okay, this is like a little awkward, but I'm gonna share it anyway. Like this year, I kind of like did a little more for like Christmas because I like get really overwhelmed and I kind of just do the bare minimum to get through like Christmas. But I followed the Fly Lady
Okay.
cruising through the holidays. So my kids are like, whoa, we have decorations. This is like a normal house now. Our
Mhm.
house looks like everybody else. And I'm like, you ain't got to come for me like that.
Right, right.
And then, like, I feel like my kids now, they don't throw their stuff down like as much as maybe they used to
Mhm.
before. And I think it's because now that they see me picking up stuff and it's kind of awkward to like be the first person to like dump your stuff or to leave your stuff here. And so
Mhm.
I've noticed them without me having to really prompt them much as being more responsible for putting your backpack in the closet, not just dumping it in the middle of the floor. And yeah, just little stuff like that. So I have noticed, and even like keeping their table clean because now I ask them about it every single night. So they'll take their dishes. I don't have to ask them anymore. So just little stuff like that.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how everything starts from just shining the sink to all of a sudden everything in the house,
Yeah.
you, your family,
Just
everything
trickles
becomes
out.
mind blowing, mind
Yeah.
blowing. So what makes now we're still on all this stuff. So I'm why don't you tell everyone what makes your channel unique?
Hmm.
Why should they watch you? Why should they go over to your channel?
So I feel like my channel, my perspective from my channel is number one, I feel like a lot of people can talk about the same topic, right? But
Mhm.
everybody has their own spin, everybody has their own flair, everybody has their own situations. And so that's just me. I feel like I'm just another example of how this program can work for your life, especially like if you have a lot of kids. I have twin 1 year olds. And so I am constantly chasing those little girls. And my time for like doing the bench cleaning, like I think that's another reason. Like I can't do it anymore, not with these little ones running in the house. And so I think my channel is just different because it just offers a different perspective. Also, I am not like one of those people that are going to be like, this is how I'm perfect. This is how I do everything right. I'm
Mhm.
very honest. I'm very vulnerable. Like, y'all look at my crazy looking closet. Like, I'm just kind of like open and vulnerable. And I kind of use my home as just like encouragement to other people who I know are struggling, to just say, like, it's just about doing what you can. Like, my goals, I do not have, like, I must meet this standard anymore. My goal is just to make progress, to move forward a little bit. And so sometimes I think, yes, sometimes I think like people just need to be reminded that it's not about how, perfect you did it. Just
Yeah.
is it better than when you started? You did great. Now go on with your day and live your life. So that's
No.
kind of, yeah. What about you? How do you think, like, what makes your channel different?
Well, like you, I think I give it another perspective. My walls are not white and gray. We'll start with that.
That's like the YouTube colors. Like,
Yes, yes, the YouTube home colors. My walls are not gray. So, yeah, we'll start with that. So, no, I mean, like you, clearly I have a mess. I have an actual mess. I don't have this weird stage. I'm just gonna wipe this down and call this I did a marathon clean.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think that for me, my channel is a little bit different because I come from a training background. So I naturally try to train and teach. That's just who I am. So I'm going to try to not only declutter my closet, but I'm going to end up taking a whole 30 minutes extra because I want to teach you the way that I'm doing it. That doesn't mean it's
Yeah.
the right way. It's just the way I'm doing it. But I think what really makes my channel stand out is I really don't want you to watch another video. I want you to get up off your behind and go
Yes.
do something,
Go
not
do
just
it.
go watch another video.
Yeah. I like that. And I also like the training aspect because I think maybe sometimes people might take it for granted that you like know how to like clean your
Mhm.
house properly. But for me, sometimes I find like I like watching other people's methods because like it makes it very obvious that, oh, okay, it can be easy like that. What I'm doing is really inefficient. Or maybe I should think about this product because it, breaks down the stuff a little faster. So I love the training aspect and that you're helping moms in that way.
Well, I also think that we know Fly Lady.
Hmm.
We have the book, right? We
Yeah.
have the book, but not everyone has the book. Not
Yeah.
everyone has really learned about Fly Lady, and if they do go to the website, they're like information overload. So even trying to explain, I try to explain why I'm making decisions that I'm making when it comes to
Yeah.
decluttering.
I love that.
Yeah, because and I try to make it fun the best I can.
Yeah.
But very self-deprecating. I've been told.
Aw.
Um, I don't know why, but I am. So, I'm trying to go and help people that maybe they don't have time, the will, or the want to go out to the website and try to make sense of all that stuff. I've already gone through that, so I'm trying
Yeah.
to give you the
Let's
knowledge.
pass it on.
Mhm.
Exactly. And I kind of come from the perspective too that like even if the whole Fly Lady package is not for you, like if you feel overwhelmed, just simply just doing like if you pick up one baby step or an
Mhm.
idea, like it can really like I feel like that sink thing, like I feel like my life was changed
Yeah.
just by not putting dishes in my sink. Like
If you're watching this now and you have stuff inside your sink, this is your homework assignment. I want you to go take all the stuff out of your sink and I want you to scrub that sucker and I want you to make it shine. And if you have a stainless steel sink, then put a little bit of baby oil in it or a little bit of
oh
just
girl.
coconut oil and just shine it up. If you
Ooh,
have a
I
white
haven't done that.
barkeeper's friend, shine it. That's your homework.
Girl, I'm gonna do the baby oil. I'm gonna give me some cooking oil tonight, girl.
That's what I do. I use coconut oil just a little bit, and I only do it honestly during my weekly home blessing
Yeah.
because I mean every day is a little bit too much. But
Hmm.
I'll do it, and then it sparkles. But just do the sink.
Yeah, for sure. I think the most important thing is you have to tell, for me, I'm like, I have to tell people that when you see that sink the next day, you have to feel proud. Like every time you look at it, I think that was so huge for me to like, that's like my symbol of
Yeah.
like, I like everything's gonna be okay. And you got this, girl. And you got it. I mean, like, you can pull this together. So that's like my symbol of like, everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why that's something I'm trying to remember to put in all my videos is the homework assignment because I
Yeah.
know that you're like me. I mean, motivation's great, but if you're just gonna watch another video after that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
So
go do
who
your bad cleaning.
Yeah. So who would you say, now that we're talking about videos, who would you say that who do you think your ideal viewer is? Who do you think is the perfect person to be watching your video?
Okay, so this is like really embarrassing, but I'll share it anyway. The person that I am talking to in my head is basically like who I was like 6 months ago when I was like in the struggle boat. And so I call her Little Day Day. It's like really awkward.
Okay. All right.
It's my little Day Day. And so in my mind, I pretend like I'm just giving it straight to my little sister, like who's struggling, who's coming to me for just some insight on like what I'm learning and so I feel like my channel is definitely not going to resonate for everyone, but the people who get it, the people who feel like they resonate with the message, then that's who my channel is for. And so I feel like keeping like my person in my mind, like who I'm talking to. Sometimes I was like, this is awkward. Sometimes I'll take old pictures of myself, like when I like, because you can see like the drainage in my face, like, and I'm just like, what would I tell this person? And you know, like if like the message, okay, so basically my messaging, my methodology, the way I go about it, I know it's not for everyone, and it helps me just be very like focused on my message. It helps me say what I need to say, because I think when I first started, I was worried about offending people. What if people don't like it when I say this? And I'm like, I'm not talking to all y'all. I'm talking to little Day Day. And so that really helps me just say what I need to say and just shoot it straight. What about you? Like, who is like the perfect ideal person who you think would benefit from your channel?
So I think like you, I have that person in my head. But I actually have two people.
Okay.
So I have the person that I was 15 some odd years ago. See, I'm two people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about two different people here. So I'm looking that person that has no idea how to do anything.
Yeah.
I have that segment, but then I've really started to formulate my perfect viewer as this woman who is overwhelmed. Her house is messy. Her kids are literally in the middle of the living room. She feels stuck in a rut. She, you know, she has no idea what to make for dinner, and she doesn't really care because she's too tired.
Yes.
And clutter is just starting to close in on her, and she's starting to feel, I don't want to say depressed, but her life is stuck in a rut. Like she's going through emotions.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for me, there's no perfect housewife. There's just happy ones. So.
Yes. I love that. Girl, I need to get like you and think my stuff out a little better. I think like I have it like in my head, like I can see it, but that's beautiful.
Man, I really
girl, that's beautiful. That's really beautiful. And I feel like I can feel that from your channel, because I feel like you pretty much described me. And so I feel like now it makes sense like why I like your channel so much, because girl, you know the struggle.
Yeah, I do, because like I said, it's the only way I can describe it is going through the motions.
Yeah.
You feel like it's just another day that ends in Y.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do have a question for you.
Okay.
What would you say is like your number one biggest takeaway that you got, if you could just boil it down to one? I know it's a lot, the program's a lot, but like what's your number one biggest takeaway
from the Flylady system?
Just from like your experience, like if you could just boil it down to just one thing that you would just like want to drill into that person, the person that you're talking to, like the one thing. Yeah.
Progress, not perfection.
Boom. Yeah.
And the word baby step.
Baby step. So big. Step. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like for me, like, I feel like mine's not as beautiful as yours, but just the whole act of like, for me, like the routines, routine is really big and has been like the most helpful thing. So not just waiting until I feel annoyed to clean, but just having a plan, thinking through it. This is the best time to handle this kind of stuff. This is the best time to handle that kind of stuff. Like that's been like so huge for me, is just planning it out, because then when I wake up in the morning, I don't have to like think about like, what am I going to do today? How am I going to, I'm just executing. And it's like, you just increase your efficiency so much when you just wake up and your feet hit the ground and you already know what you need to do. And then also it has helped me be able to like see messes in my home and be like, no, I'm good. Like I have a plan for that. Like, you know, and it really helps me feel like less, like more in control when I have a plan. So that's kind of like my thing. So yeah.
I'm with.
Isn't LaDay fun? So I'm going to leave the rest of the conversation, a link to that down in the comments and the description. And I'm going to try to put a card up here to it as well. That way you can easily get over to it. I hope that you enjoyed this kind of video. I really wanted to go and share one of my friends with you, but I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.